Hey, hi everyone. So welcome back again. So in the previous recording, we went with the fundamentals of web technology, right? So in this particular recording, we'll be going bit about a Git and GitHub. So basically, yeah, we'll explore all the commands and the way how we can just go and push the code, the way how we can pull the code, the way how we can add, commit, stage, and even raise a PR as well. Okay, what do you mean by PR? Pull request. Again, what are these keywords? What are I was mentioning over here? These all are with respect to our GitHub. Okay, so now what's the use of GitHub, right? GitHub is a main application which is being used by a developer platform that allow for developers to go create their application, store their application, manage, and they share their code accordingly. Okay, it uses Git to provide distributed version control, and GitHub itself provide different types of accesses as well, so we can just go and use that as well. Okay, so anyways, let's go and just cover that particular one as well. Okay, so for that, I'll just create a second file over here. So let's say the second file as Git and GitHub. Okay, so I'll just say Git and GitHub Commands. And let's say it as a .txt file. And we will just go and make certain notes over here. Very first thing, why do we need a Git over here? Git is being required in order to keep track of version control. Okay, we do need a Git here. Why do we need Git? Git mainly is required for version control. So what's meant by version control here? So we can have different versions of an application, right? So let's say I'm working on an application called WhatsApp only. We know very well WhatsApp, so we are using it on a daily basis. And we also know like the number of dependency of the people who are using WhatsApp on a daily basis. Okay, it can be for personal use or for commercial use or whatsoever. So now let's say WhatsApp has some version 1, okay, and WhatsApp has the version 2, and WhatsApp also has the version 3. Now they introduced a new developer, okay, so they introduced a new developer. So this new developer, he will go and add some more functionalities and he will release the WhatsApp 4 here. In the sense, he will release the version 4 for that particular WhatsApp. So let's say this version 4 is working good for some time, and at later point of time, okay, the customers or the clients started to identify there are few bugs which was released without their insights over there. Okay, let's say the testers without did not violate that particular version properly, and they ended up with some bugs over there or some errors over there. Okay, so in such case, now we know the dependency is quite high in case of WhatsApp, and we want a particular issue to be sorted as soon as possible, right? So for that, what we can do, we can just go and keep track, and we can just go and get the previous version released at that particular point of time. And later we can just go and we can even remove or we can fix those particular bugs in V4, and we can just work accordingly. Okay, so that's how we can just go and keep track of a version as well. Again, we'll discuss these things with some good better example as well. But yeah, prior to that, why do we need Git over here? The best part of Git is it's been distributed. It is distributed. Let's say it's distributed, and where it's been distributed, obviously on cloud only, right? So let's say it's distributed on cloud here. So that's the beauty of a very first thing called Git over here. So okay, so once it's been distributed, what is the next thing? It's for collaboration. So what do we mean by collaboration? Anyone can come and commit to that particular code over there. So why do we need this thing? Obviously, if we're building an application or a website, it does not mean it's being built by a single developer, right? There might be a team where they'll be having n number of developers over there, correct? So those developers will be just going and collaborating for that particular code. Okay, so for that we need a collaboration access, and it's available in our GitHub over here. And finally, we need tracking changes as well. So if we can see, we can identify which particular developer made what changes over there. Okay, so we know in application is being worked from more than 4 to 5 different developers. In such case, we can easily go and we can just backtrack, okay, which developer has committed what changes. Okay, so for that, it's easy for tracking the changes here. It's easy for tracking the changes. In a similar way, recovery can be done at the earliest over here. Why? If you can see, if V4 has some issue, we can directly go to V3, or we can even go to pull request, and we can see what are the merged conflicts available and how exactly we can fix this particular one. Okay, so that's the reason recovery is also quite good over there, okay, or quite soon as possible in case of Git and GitHub. Now, before we go and start with GitHub or something, very first thing in your machine, we are expected to have a Git application or a Git software here. So for that, we can just go to any of the browser and just search with Git download over here. So if you can see the very first site, git-sem.com, right? So I'll just go to that particular site, and this is a site what we have over here. So we want this particular application to be downloaded. So if we can see, the latest source release right now is version 2.550.0 over here. So you can just go and click on this particular one based on the operating system what we're using. If it's Mac operating system, or it's Windows, or be it Linux or Unix, we can just go and select and we can download this particular Git here. So right now in my application or in my computer, I have Git downloaded here, so I'm not downloading the same thing again. But in your case, you are expected to go for browser, search Git download, and you'll end up with this particular one. So you need to download this thing. Okay, let me copy this link and I just add it in my editor as well. Okay, this is the application what we need to download. So once we download, okay, so Git is being supported by different sort of applications as well. The very first application can be our GitHub. Similarly, we have Bitbucket as well. Okay, so on. We have many other things. Okay, not only just GitHub and Bitbucket. We do have GitLabs and we do have Gitpod as well. And there are many more things. Okay, but yeah, the one which what we'll be using over here is nothing else than GitHub. Okay, why not other things? Because of cost factor and the ease. GitHub is being recommended and it's been used in much of the IT sectors as well. Okay, so for that we'll directly go into GitHub over here. Okay, so for that let's go to a browser and we'll just search with GitHub over here. So if you can see, the moment I just search with github.com, I already logged into the page over here. So I already have a GitHub account, so I just logged in me over here. In case if you don't have a GitHub account, just search with github.com and you need to register for your GitHub account over here. Okay, this is a very simple web application where you need to provide your GitHub username, some random username, and make sure it should be available, and followed by the GitHub email ID, and you can enter your own custom password. So these are the three things what's been required: username, your Gmail ID, and a password over here. And that should be good enough to go ahead and create your GitHub over here. So that's how we can just go and create our GitHub. So now I will already have an account over here. So I'll just get my account by directly writing my name over here. So let's say Rohan Kinar. And if you can see, the moment I search my name, the very first thing URL will be my GitHub over here. So let's open this particular one. And this is my GitHub ID over here. Okay, so if you guys can see, this is my GitHub account. So right now your GitHub won't look in a similar way, the way how it's looking for me, because I added some good stuff over here. I'll be teaching for you guys as well the way how you can just go and add your profile, your work details, and your name and the badges, whatever you guys have earned so far, and how you can link your social media links, and you can even add your languages and tools and the most used languages as well, and the GitHub status and other different types of things as well. Okay, right now I already have some repositories. In your case, if you're for the first time, you will be having 0 repositories, but right now I already have some good amount of repos over here. Okay, so yes, I have some profile views and number of followers, and I'm just getting all these things displayed because I modified my GitHub bit over here. I'll be teaching for you guys as well how you can just go and modify your GitHub as well. But prior to that, let's go and understand our GitHub thoroughly, and then we'll come and we'll modify our GitHub as well. Okay, very firstly, now, so what I'll be doing over here, so let's go and create a repository. Okay, in case if you want to push a code, you need to go ahead and create a repository for that. So right now I'm in overview. I will just go to something called repositories over here. So I'll just switch to repositories over here. And now I will just set a new over here. So on the right hand side, if you can see, there is a button called new. Let me hit on this particular new button. And if you can see right now, I got my owner Rohan1917. This is my GitHub username. And it's asking for a repository name here. It's also called as a repo name or a project name, or it can be also called as a folder name as well. Let's say we are here for the first time, so we want to go and understand about Git more. So I'll just say Git, or let's say some application name, rather than writing this thing, I just say Git demo. Okay, I just go with a Git demo only. So if you can see right now, the moment I enter the repository name as Git demo, and the bottom we are getting Git demo is available, right? Git demo is available. So why? Because we need to make sure this name should be available. If it's not available, if it's already been created with the same name, it won't allow for us. Okay, this repository, you can go and fill anything over here and make sure it's a mandatory field. So we can't skip that particular field. We need to go and enter some repo name over there. Okay, we need to enter some repo name. And if you can see, we have a description. In case if you want to write a short description for your application, you can just go and write a description as well. Since it's optional, I'm skipping it for time being over here. And the next one, if you can see, we have two different types of access specifier. What are they? The very first one is a public access specifier, whereas the second one is a private access specifier over here. What's meant by public here? So the moment I click on, by default, it will be always public only. The moment we click on public, if we can see, anyone on the internet can view this particular repository. Okay, but you can still choose who can commit. What's meant by commit? We can still have the liberty to make sure I don't want my repo to be saved or changed by someone else over here. But only thing, your code will be visible for everyone on the internet the moment you click on public. Whereas if we go to private, okay, you can choose who can see and who can commit to this particular repository. So we have a liberty so that we can make sure who can see our code. It won't be available globally on internet for everyone. We can give some access for certain people here. But private is not for free, of course. We need to pay certain lump sum money over there. So for the same reason, let's say we don't have any SPI data, we don't have any sensitive information. So I am going with public so that even you guys can access my GitHub repo over here. Okay, so I just keep it as a public as default. And the next one, if we can see, we have a add a readme file over here. So what's this readme file? This is where you can write a long description for your project. Let's say if you want to write a documentation on your project, like what all commands you need to run to install your application, or what all commands you need to run to make sure your application start working as well. So in case if you want to document all of those things, we can have a readme file. So for that, you can just go and check mark this particular button here. So it will directly go and get a readme file over here. Okay, so I'll just check mark I want a readme file over here. And then if you can see, we have add.gitignore indicating like if you want to have a ignore file. So what's this gitignore? So this file basically have all the files which should not be pushed to GitHub. Okay, so in case if you have some files which you don't want to push for GitHub, you can create a separate file called add.gitignore and you can write those particular file names over there. Okay, for time being, I'll not go and add anything here. And even for license, I'll keep it as default and I'll click on create repository. Okay, before I hit on create repository, I just added a GitHub repo name over here and followed by I kept it as public access specifier only and I selected add a readme file over here. Okay, so then I'll just go and click a repository here. The moment I click on a repository here, a repo will be created. So if you can see, we got a repo created in a branch called main. Again, what's branch? We'll understand that as well. But by default, we have a main as a default branch right now. Okay, so if we can see, we got our GitHub username and we got a readme.md file. This is the one. Okay, we don't have anything so far in this particular file here, right? We don't have anything in this particular file as of now. So now what I will do, if we go back and let's say I want this particular file, readme.md file, whatever we have, I want to go and make certain changes for this as well. Okay, so I want to go and make certain changes for this one as well, but not here. I want a particular one change to be done from my editor only. Okay, so firstly, I'll just get this particular readme file over there. So if I just go to my editor, okay, we don't have anything over here, right? But yeah, before we go and get that particular file, we need to make a connection to our GitHub, right? We need to make a connection to our GitHub. So how do we go and make a connection to our GitHub over here? Okay, in order to make a connection for my GitHub from my local editor to the GitHub over there, so what I will do, I will just open this particular project location in the file explorer here. So if we can see right now, I am in the same folder where we have the fundamentals of web technology and Git and GitHub Commands over here. So it's present in my PC under local disk key where we have a folder called as funda for web technology, right? Now what I will do here, I will just go and click on this particular search window here. I mean on this particular path location wherever we have, I'll just click on this thing and I will just hit on CMD, okay, so that I want a command prompt to be loaded on the same folder location. So if we can see, we got a command prompt loaded in the file explorer E within this particular same folder only. So since if you are here for the first time, let's say if you're using GitHub for the first time, in such case, you need to configure your GitHub as well. Okay, we need to configure our GitHub as well. So how do we configure? So for that, you need to have a command. So let me document the commands as well. This should be done only for the first time. Okay, let's say for first time, need to configure GitHub in your machine. Okay, in our system. It should not be done all the time. Only if you're doing for the first time, you need to run this particular command. What's the command? You just need to say git followed by space config. I need to configure the file. So let's say I want to configure it globally. So I'll use a flag called -- global. And what do I need to do? I need to just say the user.name. You need to provide a username. So what's the username over here for my case? So if I just go to my GitHub, so if you can see whatever I'm seeing over here, right? Or whatever we're seeing over here, this is my GitHub username. Okay, this is my GitHub username. So what I will do, I'll just go and copy this particular username. It's Rohan1917. So I'll just go ahead here. Let's pass the same thing, Rohan1917. So only if you're for the first time, you just need to copy this command, git space config space -- global space user.name with your username, and you just need to go back over here and you just need to paste and hit on enter. Okay, so let's do one thing. I did not copy that, so I will just go to my editor. Let's copy this thing and I will just go to CMD and I will just paste the same thing here. Okay, you need to right click. You need to right click and paste that particular command here. But I just hit out on Control C. What's wrong with me? So let's say Control C. I'll just go to CMD again and let's say Control V. Okay, so now you can just hit on enter over here. But I already have it configured. Again, I can just run the same thing. So you can see we haven't landed with anything else. Okay, similarly, we need to run one more command. The moment you just configure your username, right? We need to configure our email ID as well. Okay, we need to configure our email ID as well. So for that, I'll just say git space config, again the same thing, space hyphen global. This time, rather than writing user.name, I will be writing user.email ID. Okay, so you need to write your email ID. So I just go and add my email. So the email one which used to create your GitHub. Okay, so same email ID over. So I just go ahead and I just say rohankinard1917@gmail.com. So I just go and provide my GitHub email ID. Okay, so I just copy the same here. Make sure the email ID is the same one which you are using while creating a GitHub. Okay, so I'll just paste the same thing over here. So let's hit on enter, and your email ID is also been configured over here. Okay, so we got our email ID configured as well. So in this way, we were able to set a name that is an identifier for credits which we want in the review history. And at the same point of time, we also set an address which will be associated with each history maker going forward. Similarly, if you want to add or set automatic command line coloring for your Git for easy reviewing, okay, let's say if you want to review those things, you can even have one thing, again, it's an optional one. So you can just run a command called as git space config space hyphen global. You can just run a command called as color, color dot UI and auto. Okay, so with the help of this thing, it will just give some color automatic suggestions on the GitHub as well. So you can just copy this. Again, you can go back to a command prompt and you can just say Ctrl V and hit on enter. Okay, that's it. That's it. So now if I just go to my file explorer, okay, so if you can see, we don't have anything here, right? We don't have anything, right? Similarly, if I go ahead here on the top file, home, share, view, let's click on view here and see hidden items is being check marked over here. So if I disable, we are still not able to get anything on the screen. If I check also, I'm not able to get anything on the screen here, right? Even if I click on hidden items, I am not able to see any special files over here. Okay, that's pretty good. Now let's go to our CMD again. And we need to run a command called as git space init. This is mandatory. Okay, mandatory steps hereafter. Mandatory commands. What are the mandatory commands you need to run? The very first one will be git space init. We need to initialize our GitHub over here. Okay, so for that, I'll just go to my CMD again and let's say git space init over here. I will just say git space init and hit on enter. So now if we can see, we got initialized empty git repository in the same folder location. See? Okay, this is pretty good. Now let's go to a file explorer. So if you can see, we got a .git folder here. It's a hidden folder. Okay, in case if it's not visible, please go on the top, click on view and check mark this hidden items. If it's unchecked, see, we can't see that file. You need to go and you need to check this particular hidden items. Then only you'll be able to see a .git file over there. Okay, then only you'll be able to see that particular file on the screen. I mean on your file explorer. Okay, we got initialized as well. So in this way, we were able to set up that particular application. So now what else we need to do? We need to make a remote connection for our application, right? We need to make a remote connection for our application. So how do we do that particular one? So for that, we need to go and run a command. So what's the command? You need to just say git space remote space, okay, add space origin space. You need to write your repository URL. Okay, you need to write your repo URL. Where can I get my repo URL? For that, go to your GitHub account. And if you can see on the right hand side, we do have an option called code here, right? This drop down button. So click on this thing and you need to switch for local, and within local I'll just go to HTTPS here. See, I'll just go to HTTPS and I'll just copy this particular URL. Okay, let's copy that particular URL and I'll come to my editor and I'll just paste the same thing. You see, this is the one. So now I just copy this entire URL and I will just go and paste and run the same thing in my CMD. Okay, let's say Ctrl V and then I just hit on enter. So now we made a successful connection from my local editor to our global GitHub account. Okay, we made a successful connection. So now, okay, we made a connection right now. Let's say I want to go and get a pull request over here. Okay, what do I mean by pull? So whatever we have right now over here, okay, whatever we right now have in our editor, I want this thing to be populated on my editor as well. Okay, whatever we have in GitHub, I want the same thing to be on my editor as well. Let's say if it's permittable. So for that, you can go to your command prompt again, or you can still close the command prompt. And you can just go ahead in the editor and on these three dots you can click on terminal and you can open a new terminal as well. Okay, again, what's the shortcut? Control plus shift plus apostrophe comma. So I'll be running the same thing, control shift apostrophe comma, or you can go to these three dots on the top and then you can hit on terminal, and then from terminal you can open a new terminal here. Okay, right now my terminal is getting loaded over here. So let's go and try to raise a pull request over here. Okay, so we'll try to raise a pull request. Okay, so the very first command, we need to raise a pull request, right? So let's go and write it out. So the moment I just say pull, okay, so let's write the request command over here. It's git space pull followed by you need to write origin and the branch name. Okay, in my case, the branch name is main over here. So how can I get the main branch? If you go to GitHub, you can see the branch is main, where we have a file called readme.md. Within that, we just have a git demo as of now. Okay, so right now we don't have anything in the file explorer, I mean in your terminal over here. So now I just go and run that command. Okay, let's say git space remote, my bad, what, it's not remote, git space pull space origin space, I want to get it from the main branch, let's say main. And if I just hit on enter, okay, so let's go ahead and hit on enter. If you can see, it's saying already up to date. Okay, so because I just ran the previous command over here, so it's going in that particular way. Now what I'll do, I just ran it a few minutes back, so I'll just click on edit over here, and I will just have one more statement here. Okay, let's say I want to add one more statement, let's say Rohan, and I just want to add my name over here. So let's add my name, and I just commit the changes. Okay, so yeah, let's say commit directly to main branch. Yes, again, what I'm doing here, I'll just be teaching this thing as well. I just made a local change over here. I added certain things to my file. Okay, so I just deleted this file. That's the reason it's not appearing over there. So, or you can do one thing, let's say create a new file over here. I'm just creating a dummy file. Let's say the file name is my name only, rohan.txt, and I want this particular file over there. Okay, so I'll just enter some contents here. Let's say 1 2 3, and I just say commit change. Commit in the sense I want to save this particular one. Let's save it on the main branch only. Okay, so I'll just say commit changes over here. So now, okay, we got these two particular files over here, one with a .md file, markdown file, and one with a simple text file here. So now let's go and run the same command. So I'll just hit the top arrow key in my keyboard and let's hit on enter. Okay, so let's see if we're able to get those two particular things. And if you can see, we got those two particular files accordingly. See, we got a readme file where we have GitHub demo. I got that particular same thing and I entered my name, so I got that one as well. Similarly, we got rohan.txt where I added 1 2 3 over there, right? So we got those same things whatever we have in our GitHub right now. In this way, we were able to clone our application, right? We were able to clone our application. So now, what if I want to push certain things? Okay, we already have some files here, right? So if you can see, we have funda of web technology and git ignore files. What if I want to push these things? How can I go ahead and push? So for that, okay, in case if you want to push, very first thing, we'll run a command called git space status to see what's the status of our application. Okay, so if I just say git space status, and if I just hit on enter, you can see we got two different files in red color, right? And those files are funda of web technology and Git and GitHub commands over here. Why not the other two things? Because these are already present in the GitHub, whereas the first two things are not present. If you can go to GitHub, see first two files are not present here. So for the same reason, we are getting it in a red like structure. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, what if I want to add these files? So if you want to add the file, you can just say git space add space. You need to write the file name. Okay, so if you can see for the first one, I need to go and just say one underscore funda, and I'll write this particular file name. Similar, I'll go with space and I just say chu underscore git. I need to write in this way. What if I don't want to write specifically the file names? In that case, I can just say git space add space dot here. This will just push all the files whatever we have here. Let's give it a try. So I will start writing here for some time. Okay, or I'll just write it first and then I'll push the code. Once you're done with this thing, you need to run a command called git space status. And once you're done with this, you need to run a one more command called git space commit -m for message over here. You need to write some message. Okay, let's say some message, or let's say commit message. Okay, so once you enter the commit message, what is the next thing? You need to go and just run a command called git space push here. Okay, that's how we'll be able to push our application. Okay, let's see. So now I will just go and run the next command, git space status. My bad, not status. We already ran the status. So let's say git space add space dot here. The moment I just hit on this thing, okay, we just got a new line. Let's go and hit on status again. Okay, I'll expand the terminal so that it's clear in the for you guys as well. Okay, what's the next one we have here? I will just go and run the same status. How do I get? So I just hit on the top arrow key and once again, and if you can see, I got git status. Now if I hit on enter, we can see those files which were in red, it turned into green right now. Does it mean we already got in GitHub? Let's go and give it a try. So I'll just go ahead and I'll click on refresh over here. So are we able to see those changes? Are we able to see those two files? No, we are not able to see those two files as of now. Okay, then what do we need to do? We need to commit. So for that, we'll just say git space commit. I will just say -m. We'll just write some message here. And let's say the message as initial commit. Okay, I'll just say it as initial commit, indicating the first commit. You can write anything. This -m here is a flag, and you can write any commit message. Okay, you can write any save message over here. So for time being, I'm just saying some initial commit over here. Okay, and then I just hit on enter. Okay, so now if you can see, two files changed, and these been insertions, and these are the files over here. Does it mean we already got in GitHub? Let's go and let's refresh. Are you able to see anything here? No, we are not able to see anything as of now. Okay, then when are we able to see? So you need to run the one more command called as git space push. And if I just hit on enter, you can see it's saying us to upstream. You need to go and run this command. Just copy this, upstream it to the origin master branch. I'll just paste the same thing and I will hit on enter here. So now the moment I hit on enter over here, okay, so I just click on enter over here. So now let's wait, and if you can see, it just got added to this particular branch over there. So now if I go to my GitHub, you can see we got certain files here, right? We already got certain files over here. So what happened? So let's go. Okay, it's been in master branch, my bad. That's fine. Let's go ahead and see in the master branch. So if you can see right now in master branch, we got these many things, right? We got funda of web technology, we got GitHub and commands, and we also got readme file, we also got rohan.txt. See, with the latest commit message called as initial commit. Correct. What if I don't want a separate branch? I want in the main default branch only. How can I do? So I can just go and get still pushed on the main branch as well. So for that, let's say git space push origin. Let's see if I can run the same command with main right now. Okay, because we don't have any reference to main over here. That's pretty good. Okay, we got a master branch over here, and we got a particular changes over here. So now, if you can see in the branch over here, we in the master branch, we are able to see these two particular files. In general, we got all 4 files, right? We are able to see these 2 particular files as well. Okay, that's pretty good. But now if you click on this drop down here, so you can see main is the default one and master is the one which we created right now. Now what if I want this changes on the main branch as well? So how can I go and get the changes on the main branch? If you can see on the top, it's saying master had recent pushes 1 minute ago, and there's a compare and pull request. Let's go and hit on pull request here. Let's try to get it on main branch as well. So what I'm doing here, I'm comparing from master branch and I'm getting in main branch as well. I want those 2 files over here as well. If you want, you can add some reviewers. In IT, we basically add some reviews so that the other person will review our code and then only we'll push our code. But right now I'm not adding any reviewer. I'll just go ahead and I'll just say, if you want to add a description here, you can just add a description. But I'll just go and click on create a pull request here. Okay, I'll just say, hey, I want to raise a PR. So PR stands for pull request. So now, if you can see, it's went with some merge conflicts here. So it's also saying, hey, we don't have any conflicts for the base branch. So you can just go and merge it over here. So let's say merge pull request. If you want to write some message, write it out. I'll just keep it blank and I'll just say confirm merge. The moment I say confirm merge over here, so if you can see, we got it merged over here. So if you can see, it's saying merge. And if I just go to code over here, okay, if we just go to code, if you can see in the main branch also, we started getting the other files, right? We started getting the other files here. If we go to master also, we have the other files. In the same way, if we go to main also, we have other branch over here. Okay, we do also have other branches over here. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, let's say I want to add one more file here. Let's say I want to add one more file, and this file should not be pushed into main or master branch. I want this thing to be pushed in a separate branch. Okay, let's say I want to have a separate branch created over here. Okay, I want this particular file. Okay, let's say not on main. Okay, as the file name, I'm just saying not on main.txt. I don't want this branch to be pushed on either on main branch or on the master branch. Rather, I want a separate branch. Okay, let's say it as hyphen. Let's say it as separate branch. Okay, indicating I want to have it in a separate branch. And let's say the branch name I want to have as day 1 branch. Okay, let's say it as day 1 branch. This is the branch name what I am wishing right now. I want this particular file to be pushed only on this particular branch, not on any other branches over there. Apart from that, I want all other files. Okay, I want to have this readme file, rohan.txt, and other 2 files as well. But this file should be present only in this branch and not on any other branches over there. So let's see how we can do that. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just say git space commit. My bad, it's not commit. We'll just run a command called checkout. Okay, and I will just say -b for branch over here, and you'll write the branch name. So what's the branch name? I am expecting a branch name called as day 1 branch here. So this is the branch what I need over here. So if you want to create a new branch, okay, you need to run a command called git space checkout -b day 1 branch here. You can either run this command, or you can simply go to your GitHub and you can click on this drop down and you can enter any branch. You can see find or create a branch, right? If you want to create a branch, let's say day 1, you can hit on day 1 and you can click on this particular button. It will just create a branch. But yeah, as a developer, we'll never create from GitHub. We'll create it from our commands only. So this is the command. Now I will just hit on enter. You can see the moment I hit on enter, it's stating, hey, we have switched to a new branch called day 1 branch. Okay, that's pretty good. We already switched as well. So now let's go ahead. Let's document the command as well in case if you want to switch, create a new branch, create a new branch. Then you need to run a command called as git space checkout -b for branch, and you need to write the branch name here. Okay, you just need to write the branch name. It can be anything of your choice. Okay, so now I just go and run the same commands. Git space status. Let's see what are the files. You can see only this particular file. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's add it out. I will just say git space add space dot. Let's say git space commit. I will just push it out directly rather than checking the status over here. I will just say -m, let's say dummy, just a random message. Let's hit on enter, and then the file got inserted here. Let's say git space push, and I just upstream it accordingly. Okay, so I just need to upstream to this particular branch. So let's copy it over here. I will just run the command, and if I just hit on enter, so we will be able to get that particular branch as well. Okay, so let's wait, and if we can see it's been done over here. And now if I just go to my GitHub over here, okay, so if we can see we got a new branch called as day1 branch over here, right? At the same point of time, this file, okay, not on main.txt, if you can see that file is nowhere present in the main branch. Similarly, it's nowhere present in the master branch as well. If you go to master as well, you are not able to find that branch only over here, right? Whereas if I go to this branch, okay, where we have day1 branch, see it's being created here. If I click on this branch, you can see we got not on main.txt with a context as or a comment called as dummy as a message over here, right? Just now only, and it's been pushed 28 seconds ago. See, it's been only present over there. Okay, so it's pretty good. Okay, we got it. Let's say now I want to create one more branch, and I want that particular one to be pushed for day2 branch. Okay, let's say I want to create not on day2 branch. I want that file to be pushed on, let's say on, yeah, let's say day2 branch. Let's create one day2 branch over here. So I just go ahead and I just say git checkout, and I just say day2 branch over here. So let's say day2 branch, and I want to go with this particular branch. Okay, so now we are within the day2 branch, and in day2 branch I don't want this particular file here. Okay, so, or let's say I want to push this particular file, and on the top of that, okay, yeah, on the top of that, let's push this thing over here for day2 first. So what I will do, I'll just go and add it over here. You can run in this way, or you can even go ahead and you can just simply raise a PR as well. Okay, so what do you mean by PR? You can go to pull request here on the top, and I will just say from the pull request, okay, so I will just say raise a new pull request. And what do I want here in the pull request? I want day1 branch. Okay, whatever we have, that particular thing should be present on any other branch. Okay, right now we don't have day2 over here. It's not being created yet, so that's the reason we're not getting. In case if you want that file, okay, on main as well, so now I just say I want the file on main.txt as well. So if you can see, we're getting all the commit history. See, it's saying one file changed, one addition with this particular on, not on main.txt. This file has been missing, and if you want to push from day1 branch to main branch, we can still do it. Okay, so let's say create pull request, and you can add a reviewer if you want. Right now I'm not adding any reviewer. Let's say create a pull request. You can write some title, description, and everything, but yeah, right now I'm skipping those things. And then let's say if we have any conflicts, here we go, we don't have any conflicts. Let's click on merge pull request. So I'll just say confirm the merge over here. Okay, so now it will take some time, and now if you can see it's been merged as well. So if we go to code over here, so now on the main file as well, you can see not on main.txt is been published here. And if you want to know this purge request, like what exactly happened, you can always go and click on this merge pull request, and you can see like you'll be getting what file was inserted and what are the comments we inserted in that particular file as well. Okay, so now we switch to new branch, right? We switch to day2 branch over here. Now what if I want to switch to day1 branch only? What if I want to switch to day1 branch only? In such case, you can just say git space checkout, but this time rather than writing -b, just go ahead and remove that and write the branch name. So what's the branch name? I want to switch to day1 branch. And now if you hit on enter, see it's saying we successfully switched to day1 branch. Previously we were in day2 branch, and it just flipped to day1 branch accordingly. So in case if you want to go and switch between the branches, okay, let's say if you want to switch the branch, then what's the command? You just need to run the same command, but you need to remove the -b over there. Just say git space checkout, remove the -b, and write the original branch. Okay, let's say branch which we need to switch. Branch name, let's say branch name which needs to be opened. Okay, you just need to write the branch one which you want to open over here. That's it. Okay, so that's it. These are the basic commands what you need to go and understand with respect to our GitHub over here. Correct? So very basic commands, not a rocket science over here, even though it just has some installation and like the way how you can use in GUIS as well. Okay, so that's the basic things what you can just go and view over here. Okay, so similarly, if you want to clone the application only, let's say I want this particular entire thing, okay, whatever we have right now. So let's go to our GitHub, one lost command. So if I just go to code over here, so in case if you want to download this application, so what people do is they'll click on this code option and they'll download the zip file, right? What if I don't want to download the zip file? In such case, I can directly go to HTTPS. I just copy this link over here, and then let's say I want to go to one of the file explorer. I want some new folder here, so I just say Control-Shift-N. I just say new folder only, and in this folder I want that particular file. Okay, in this folder, I want that particular file. So for that, I'll just open CMD. I'll open my command prompt, and the command to clone the application is nothing else than git space clone followed by that particular URL, and just hit on enter. So if you can see, cloning into git demo, and we just got that particular thing. So if you can see, in this new folder we got the git demo folder, and within that we got all the other files. See, we got funda of web technology, not on main, and all the things started coming over here. The things whatever we have here, it's still present on new folder as well. Okay, in a git demo folder we have all these things. So what was the command for that? The command is nothing else than if you want to clone the application, so you just need to run git space clone followed by the URL. Okay, what is the URL? Our GitHub repo URL. So where do we get this one from? This one we can directly get it from this code option, and from there you need to go to local, click on this drop down, go to local, and switch to HTTPS and copy this particular link. So these are the basic commands what we'll be using in our GitHub as well. Okay, so yes, that's it for this particular recording. So thank you all. Thank you for watching.